Okay, Doug?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will take a motion to approve today's agenda.
I would make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I will second.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bulls eye.
Okay, how about the minutes?
I had a chance to read the minutes and I didn't see anything jumping out at me.
I didn't notice anything, but
Apparently Tracy did.
Taken care of,
It was a misspelling.
taken care
oh,
of,
misspelling, yeah, I never caught that. I
Nope.
can't spell.
taken care of.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All right, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bulls eye.
Haley, I want you to discuss a little bit on the expense register for the EMS, mainly the Atkins one. To
Okay,
be clarified that
Yep,
I
yep.
know what's going on, these guys don't, so.
so we received, well, you talking about this letter thing?
No,
Oh,
not that one yet.
so what they purchased or whatever?
Yes, how
Did
they,
they come?
we approved this last week for Atkins. And now they turned around and.
Oh, yes, because what they had us reimbursing them, but then they changed it, we're paying the actual vendor Raycom. So they sent us back, because they were on the prior EMS ones. But he didn't specify to pay Raycom, so we wrote the check to Atkins to reimburse them. But we voided that out, we're getting it taken care of, so now we're paying Raycom directly.
Do we do that with every department?
They have their choice, remember, if it's under that 1,000,
Right.
we prefer to reimburse them for it instead
Right.
of us getting the W-9s and paying the vendors. But if it's over 1,000, they have the choice if we can pay direct to the vendor or to the entity. Yeah.
All right.
And so we'd also like to point out, once that policy has been in place, we pay EMS claims once a month. So we did get a concerned citizen from Urbana questioning why it looked like Atkins was getting such a big chunk compared to other entities. It's just how it falls and how they turn in their claims or what their spending is going. It's not how you guys are picking and choosing, because as Anna will mention, each entity still has their allotted allocation. But how they turn it into our claim cycle throughout the year is on those entities. So,
But they still can't go over that.
right. So, just wanted to clarify that, and that's why we chose to do this claim run separate, so we're transparent with them.
Perfect.
So we're not paying them twice for that, it's just,
Right.
yeah, it
Just
is
had to
that.
clear up. Wonderful, thank you.
Yep,
That explained, can I get a motion to approve the EMS expenses?
I did get a chance to look through those, there was just a few. I would move to approve the EMS claims.
I will second.
okay,
Now,
and I'm
you
gonna,
wanna read them off?
yep, I'm gonna list them out, yep.
Ron, can I have you read them off?
Okay, here.
Okay, the claims on this run is North Benton Ambulance Training, $2,400. Garrison, fire first responders for, I think it's just first responders, for $214.93 medical expenses. Urbana first responders for medical expenses for $208. Belle Plaine Ambulance medical expenses for $2,919.87. Norway medical supplies for $2,781.08. Belle Plaine Ambulance again for $189. North Benton for $1,204.13. And Atkins payment on their first responder vehicle, $26,199.07 for a total of $36,116.08.
Perfect. I will call for a vote now.
I'll make the motion to accept those, so we've done that. Who seconded? Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
You want this initial?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like-
Yeah.
yeah.
That was one that Haley had.
Oh, okay.
This is the one I printed off. Mark,
I would like to set a land use hearing for Dylan and Tiffany Nebus for Tuesday, October 28th at 9:15.
We're good with all that, David?
Is 9:15, Bud?
Yes, please.
I will take a motion to set the date. You guys?
I will make a motion to set a land use date for Dylan and Tiffany Nebus for the 28th of October at 9:15 a.m.
I'll second that motion.
Call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
Thank you. See you guys.
See ya.
Let's jump down to number 7 to be a quick one, shouldn't it?
Yep.
Discuss and set public hearing date for status of funding activity for Benton County Conservation Tree Planting Project.
We would like to set that for Tuesday, October 21st at 9:05 a.m. And I did put the notice in your folder. This is for that CDBG tree grant with conservation. If you recall, we used to do these kind of things with the watershed money too. So,
You said 9:05 on the 21st?
yep,
Because we have a 9:15.
yep.
Okay.
It shouldn't take very long, she said, so.
Okay, I will take a motion to approve setting the hearing date.
I'll make a motion to approve the hearing date for conservation for the tree replanting project of 21st October at 9:05.
Okay,
I'll second.
call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
And Alyssa with ECOG will be here for that too.
October 23rd,
My first,
first.
so Tuesday. It's a normal board day.
Okay.
October's sneaking in on us.
I'll be here tomorrow. All right.
9:10, Isaac Hawthorne.
Right here. With the Benton County Pioneer Cemetery Commission, we had an expense that was for a purchase that was on June 17th of this year. Our intention was for it to come out of last year's budget. Unfortunately, the receipt and the invoice for it were sent to the wrong place, so it didn't get to the auditor's office in time to come out of last year's budget. And I was hoping that we could make an amendment to this year's budget to address that.
So I told him he had to get permission from you, so chances are we'll do another budget amendment this fiscal year, I'm just not sure how soon. So
Okay.
how much was the amount?
$602.95.
Because you guys have plenty of cushion currently, so. in your spending authority.
Yeah, we're not gonna run out of money right away,
Yeah.
but it wasn't an unexpected expense on this year. We had several expenses planned for this year, so kind of threw a wrench into things.
So I wanted you guys' prior approval so that if we do another budget amendment, we'll add more spending authority to cover that for them.
But they got this year's budget now to cover.
Yeah, currently, he can pay it now and he's fine, he's got a cushion, but what he's saying is if
Reimburse it.
they get to where they, because they already plan to use what they already asked for.
Well,
Yeah.
seems simple enough to me.
You want it in a form of a motion?
Yeah, that way I know I can add it in our budget amendment regardless, so.
Okay.
I would make a motion to, at the next budget amendment, to add $602.95 for the Pioneer Cemetery fiscal year 25 budget.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, call for a vote.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Bull's eye.
It'll actually be in the fiscal year 26.
26,
Yep.
sorry.
Yep, you're
We're in
fine.
20.
I figured you knew that, but.
Yep, you're right.
Is there anything further you all need from me?
Nope, you did submit that to get paid though, right?
I'll check with our treasurer, but I believe so.
Otherwise I can
yes.
take it with me if you want.
I can give this to you. I'm missing the itemized list.
Oh,
I think I
okay.
left that on my printer by
I
accident.
I'll keep that with mine, then I'll remember to add it.
I can get that to you if needed.
Okay, yep,
Alright.
just make sure they turn in, is it Roy that does it usually?
Roy Schultz?
Yep, he'll code it and we'll get it paid for you.
All right, thank you all.
Thank
Have a good day, thanks.
You too. Good to see you.
Did you want to look at that number 8 at all?
I did read that.
I emailed it and then I printed out a copy for you too also.
Which one?
The eye safety wear stuff, and boots. You know, Ray sat in on the safety meeting with you.
Is this, the funding for this is already in place?
Currently, they just turn it in and get reimbursed or whatever, or we pay it directly. This is kind of more or less putting a threshold on the amounts that they can get reimbursed for those items, and like a policy, like if they're not wearing like steel-toed shoes and stuff. We've just never had one of these in place.
Would this go in the handbook then?
Well, it'd be, yeah, we would make a note of it in the handbook to see this policy.
Prior to this, there wasn't any enforceable, I mean,
It was never
OSHA didn't come
addressed.
in and say, you guys are out here on the flight line, you gotta have this stuff.
So I know I've had the eye doctor offices call in the past and ask on the invoices and stuff.
Yeah.
Because most, like I know the city entities and that, they have a threshold, what they pay up to.
I'm surprised. Some of the stuff those guys are doing.
It's been brought up to the safety committee more than once. I don't sit on that, but I've been told that anyway.
A little discussion on that. You guys are talking about the footwear and the eyewear. Did you do anything about the hearing? Like molded earplugs and things like that, that they're reusable and stuff, things like that?
We do
We
have
have it.
somebody from Gallagher, Heartland, they used to go around and like offer free hearing stuff, I think, or those little pads they put in their ears.
Well, I was thinking more on the lines
Oh.
of molded ones. We
Here's-
had molded ones. What they did was they went to,
Yeah,
that you had them, then they were yours and you had to take care of them.
assuming that's what Doug's here for, the safety thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're just starting to talk about.
Okay.
We'll let it go though.
Yep, yep.
Timed item. Anna? I don't care, yeah, sure.
Myron's gonna be coming too, so.
Okay, yeah, we haven't acted or anything.
So speaking with Haley a little bit, basically I just wanted to come and update you guys on some things happening with North Benton and to get your approval for some spending. We had our one ambulance remounted. We got that back a couple months ago and got it in service. While I was over there, we kind of toured the facility per se, and Kevin from Clocky Emergency Vehicles had a unit sitting there that they were working on. As they would get ahead or whatever, he would just put the guys on it. Long story short, he called me. The truck is projected to be done sooner, and wanted to know if I was interested in it. Well, of course, this happens right when we're kind of figuring out budgets and everything. So I have enough in our North Benton allowance to pay for half of it this fiscal year, and then budget the other half in the following fiscal year. And actually Kevin said that that would be fine if we paid, it's roughly $112,000 when we pick up the vehicle in November, and then I would have a year to pay the other half at 0% interest. So that would put us in another 2026 chassis with a used box that would be able to be remounted. So after 5 to 8 years, we could replace the chassis on that and upgrade it. So with the cost of the chassis and then whatever's done with lights and all of that. So I guess I'm asking for permission to spend that $112,000.
What are you doing with the old truck?
That's yet to be determined. We're looking at potentially keeping it and having 3 units. Then comes the storage where we would put it. So we're looking at some options there. Trade-in value on it's not very high. I think we were looking at about $7,500. Right. So.
We want 224. How many miles are on a unit like this that you would trade in?
There's roughly 150,000. Yeah, the resale value for them is not a lot. He said I could, advertise it for more, but that's going through the headache of having, potential customers come out and purchase it or look at it, drive it, all of those things that are associated with selling a used vehicle. So we're looking at some of our options. The board and I actually have a meeting tomorrow night to discuss some of those options, because this is kind of moving quicker than what we had anticipated. The end date for the finished product on their end is about the middle of November. So when I had originally talked to him, we kind of thought that it would be into the next fiscal year before it would be done, but they've been able to get caught up, and knowing that I was potentially looking at another vehicle, it just kind of moved along a little quicker, so.
So, the unit you wanna replace right now has got 150,000.
Correct.
The chassis does. How about the box? Has that been fitted twice now? or-
Yes, the unit that we have, it would not be able to be remounted because the manufacturer of that ambulance is no longer in business. So parts or anything on that, Kevin's been able to, for the last 4 years, been able to help me if I had something that, a hinge or something, a door handle that needed to be replaced, because he used to be a med tech dealer. But anything, if anything were to happen to the box, then we'd have to look at other avenues or go back to Kevin and see if he has spare parts.
Okay, that'll be up to your board though.
Yep. Yeah, what we decide with that 3rd unit.
So how would the county work this? Would it
She's got enough in her EMS trust fund yet
pay for this year?
to pay for
Yep.
half of it.
Yep.
And then, the way I got this, he's gonna hold the bill for the other half of that payment till after July
Yes,
1
correct.
of next year.
Yes,
And then her allotment will start over again. Then she can pay the other 120,000 for it. with 0% interest. I mean,
That's a pretty
to
good
me,
deal.
Yeah, it's a sweet deal.
Yeah, it was very hard when he threw that at me not to move some things around, knowing that we'd have another 2026 chassis. And we've been very happy with the truck that we have now, so, customer service goes a long ways,
They're Ford chassis.
yes.
Where are these folks located?
He's in Sterling, Illinois.
Okay,
He originally worked with Lifeline out of Sumner, and then he broke off and started working Illinois for for MedTech, and then he realized that there was more money in remounting ambulances, and so he started that. So this will be another Lifeline chassis, which will match, or Lifeline box that will match what we currently have in service. So.
I would think if their board's okay with it, I'm okay with it.
I am too.
Okay.
Sounds like it's just kind of fell into your lap.
Yeah, it really did.
Quite nicely, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite a deal.
Yes.
And I think we told them originally with those bigger purchases to be transparent, come to you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, appreciate that. That's,
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
only downside that I foresee on this is that 8 years down the road, you're gonna have 2 chassis of the same year.
We
I'll
can,
be long gone, I ain't gotta worry about it. But I mean, you'll have to buy 2 instead of 1.
right. The one that we're getting, that will be able to be remounted. So it's going to be internally kind of which one that we're gonna concentrate putting the miles on, and working it so that we don't have it where both of them come due at the same time, so,
Okay?
yep.
I think you heard all 3 in favor.
yeah.
Okay,
Sounds
all right,
good.
I will get that submitted then when I get it.
Excellent.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll go back, since no more timed items. Discuss and approve safety foot and eyewear policy. Doug, you wanna take it from here?
Okay.
And Myron, I guess?
Doug's definitely.
Well, I guess how this all started is a result of our safety committee had some employees bringing their concerns of footwear to the safety committee meeting. And oh, he's not wrong. I've seen hey dudes on guys coming in the shop. Several guys are wearing tennis shoes. So Ray put together a policy it's basically a starting point, a talking point. Tracy didn't feel that we should go to safety toes or steel toes. Our general industry, safety toes is what's accepted. If you want to protect your employees and protect the county from a lawsuit, OSHA says that you're supposed to have somebody designated to look at the job and evaluate whether it's needed. Well, you can pretty much look at our job. You've got culverts that could roll on their feet. They could drop signs, signposts, a bundle of signposts. Guys work in the shop with the overhead lifting. So it all points. Machinery operators generally are wearing safety toes. And I would change some wording in what Ray did to safety toe instead of steel toe, because there's composite, there's aluminum, steel, carbon fiber. So the composites aren't as cold as the steel toes. They're also lighter. I don't know if you've all read through what Ray sent out. And I just had some notes on some things I would
maybe look at changing. I know that according to OSHA, you're not required to pay for safety toe boots. There's nothing special about them. Now, if you start getting specialty shoes like metatarsal covers and other things, then you would. Most counties and most businesses that require safety toe boots do pay for a portion thereof. I think the numbers that we had, you know, if you want to give me that, great, but I think we need to balance safety. Most of the guys are already buying a boot anyway. So if you give them some, we also got to balance that with fiscal responsibility. So, and Myron's been doing some research on amounts, but like in the protective footwear, Ray had written, boots or shoes that are constructed of leather or comparable durable material. I've been doing some research. I would change that to boots or shoes that meet ASTM F2413-18 and 24 or 24 standards for puncture resistance, slip resistance, safety toe, and impact and compression ratings of, I would choose 75. There's 3 different ratings. You can go 30, 50, or 75. 75 is for the highest compression rating, so if you roll something heavy, it's 75, I think, pounds per square feet. But, so that opens up a lot more different types of safety shoes for the employees to choose from. I like my welted soles, but as you can see, Shelby's, they're a molded sole. They do meet the standards. She's got safety toes. I don't. Never liked them myself, but something we need to look at. He had, so then where he put in steel-toed boots, I would write in safety toes. And he had written in there that I had set up a program with Red Wing. I have not yet. I investigated it. I've talked with the store manager at the Red Wing store. It's something that we can set up. There's also other options through different manufacturers. They have discounts available to government employees. ID Me is one program. There's another one, GovX. Keen Pro, I read through that yesterday. Secondary roads wouldn't qualify for a Keen Pro. It's a government program, but it's for more outdoors, adventure type. So, and that's evaluated every year. You have to reapply for it every year. And from what I read, that secondary roads would not qualify for that. So, but the employees can go on and use GovX and ID Me at any time, even if they don't qualify for a new pair with reimbursement. They can go and buy a pair anytime using those programs. The program that we can set up at Red Wing is, there's a couple different ones, but basically I tell them down there what we're looking for. I give them the standard we're after. The employee comes in, they'll only show them the shoes that meet the spec. That was another question Myron had is, okay, if you're letting them go anywhere and buy them and turn in a receipt, how do you guarantee that they meet that spec? So they're going to have something on their receipt that shows that it does. Then, of course, the amount that you are willing to reimburse, it's kind of up to you guys. Myron's going to want to talk more on that. On reimbursements, you've done some research on different amounts. I've found some that 110 a year, and they let them carry it over, so if they don't need a pair this year, next year they can get 220. I know that Shelby they were reimbursing up to 300 is their policy, but they have never had to reimburse that much. So talking to Troy this morning, we just got done doing some safety training out there at secondary roads for fall protection and load securement. And he said $300 is ridiculous. That's way too much. He's like, and you don't necessarily need to reimburse the full amount. Like I said, most of the guys are buying boots anyway. So, you know, if they're spending 125 or 150 bucks on a pair of, you know, boots, and, you know, you give them some extra to help pay for that cost of the safety boot. But my opinion, it needs to be a safety toe boot. And
Is there anything in your union contract that speaks about this?
there's nothing in the union contract about it, nothing in the handbook. Other counties have policies, some don't. I know Chickasaw does not require any safety boots. I'd look for that to change. That's one of the things that, this is one of the things that the safety committee is focused at. This is why they want the safety committee to find these things that have been missed. You know, let's get on board, let's get in the, you know, up with the times and make it a safer place to work.
Does our insurance carrier have a standard they want you to meet with something like this?
No, they won't specify. And OSHA doesn't specify. OSHA says that you should identify the hazards and define the need. But their favorite thing to cite you on, if they come in and you have an incident, and Ray's got it written in here, OSHA likes to cite you under the general duty clause, which means employers must provide employees with a workplace free from recognized hazards likely to cause death or serious injury. So if OSHA was to come in, we've got somebody with a smashed foot, and in a job that would generally accepted practice would be to wear a safety toe boot, and you did not, then you did not protect your employees. So then they cite the county under the general duty clause. So
What's that, about 10,000 per occurrence?
I'm not sure what it is now. I do know that OSHA has been visiting some counties in the last few years. They've stepped it up a little bit, so if you get a claim, there's a good chance they're gonna show up on something like, you know, serious injury.
I'd rather be proactive than reactive.
Well, absolutely.
That's what the program.
Training, didn't they say it was like 10,000 first and then second was like 160?
I know they'd like to start off at 10.
Yeah, and then I think the
That's always
second one was,
where they kick off, and then.
the second one was outrageous.
So I think what Ray's written up here is a good starting point. I think we need to refine it a little bit and figure out how much, if any, the board thinks we should, you know, well, one, do you want to require a safety-toed shoe or boot at jobs that running heavy equipment, chainsaws, you know, define the scope of work? And because ultimately it's your guys' decision on this policy. And then who's going to track the, you know, he's got it in here to submit your receipt to the auditor to get reimbursed. I'm sure that Haley probably does not want to track annually every employee's, and that it can be done within the department. If they submit the receipt to their department head, the department head can then submit the receipt to Haley to be reimbursed.
And we would trust that the department head to keep the records.
Yeah, and we have for glasses, which is another thing that's in
For
here.
like, well, some departments have uniform allowance already, so they can do that.
So, I mean, it's for you guys to decide. I'm just,
Where did the clause that you mentioned, where, when it comes to what Ray had put in here, where did you get, I didn't write down, you read off where did you get that?
the protective footwear one,
Yeah.
you mean? Section 3, definitions, D, protective footwear.
Okay, where did that come from? Is that from OSHA?
The one that I read, what he has written is what we had came up with. He had wrote boots or shoes that are constructed of leather or comparable durable material. That is something we came up with at our safety committee meeting. I've been doing several hours of research since, and
That's where you came up with.
this is where I come up with the ASTM standards.
Okay.
And so then you can, there's other standards that fall in with that, like electrical hazard. You know, we don't need to require the electrical hazard underneath that standard. It's not something we really work with. So, but I just picked the ones, the standards that applied to us, which puncture resistant, slip resistant, safety toe, and impact and compression rating of 75 is what I would choose.
So if someone likes to wear the high ones and the other ones like them below the ankles.
You can, with this writing here, the way this is written up, you have some that look like tennis shoes
That are still compliant.
that are still compliant. They meet all the ratings. They'll have the safety toe. They just look more like a tennis shoe. They have high tops, mid tops. So this language that I changed it to opens up a lot different styles of shoes for the employees so they can have more choice.
Okay.
Tracy, just a quick interjection here. He's talking about 1910-136, Bruce. That's the OSHA standard. He's talking about the foot standard.
I'm actually talking about ASTM standards F2413-18 and 24.
OSHA was, doesn't OSHA go by 1910-136 though?
Yes, they do, but they do not specify what the shoe has to be.
Correct.
They revert to ASTM standards.
Well, Myron, what's your feelings on like the grader guys? Do they need to wear a steel toe, or can they get by with just a leather?
I would say safety toe. Anytime you're in heavy equipment, this is my opinion, and they don't know that when they get in that grader, they're gonna be in that grader all day long. They get out on a job and I don't have the right pair of shoes and I gotta go back to my shed. That ain't gonna work. That's just my opinion.
So just require that when you come to work, this is the shoe.
This is the shoe that you should have. That's my opinion. Myron's may be different. I'll let him speak for himself, but.
I don't think it would require steel toe. When you read the 1910-136 definition of foot protection, you're talking about piercing the sole. Operating equipment, sitting in the operator's seat, probably doesn't require anything more than sandals. However, you gotta get in and out of the machine. And I think you could have something happen in that operation that sufficiently falls into that category where piercing the sole and some type of protective footwear makes more sense. Dwelling on that last night this morning for a little bit, and I was thinking, well, wait a minute, you know, we all, not all, many operators think about the operator seat and don't think about everything else that goes on. Now, granted, as Doug said, there are times where the operators are needed out on the ground doing things, and then you fall into some categories. Certainly slip-on shoes, things like that need to go away. I mean, some type of lace-up shoe that's gonna protect your feet and comply with OSHA standards would be better than what currently happens on some days right now. Unfortunately, nothing has happened to anyone, but we all could encounter a situation where things could get worse, and addressing things to protect everyone within reason and safety oriented makes sense. Now, how much difference there is between safety shoes and just work boots by term and definition, I don't know. you know, I'm sure it gets down to this ASTM or some organizations' discrepancy or definition, explanation of what this shoe qualifies as and what this one does and how each one would fall in between. I don't know that personally. Doug's probably done more research and might have some answers there as to whether there's lesser than a safety boot that would be a recommendation for the safety designation shoe, safety toe, whichever the right term is the right and best definition to use as a minimum standard.
I would say as far as the work boot safety toe, we should send it back to the safety folks and let them refine it so it meets what you guys need. Then I guess you and Myron would have to get together and come up with the.
Well, don't leave Shelby out, because
Oh, well,
it's also
gotta
gonna,
leave Shelby.
you know, they've got heavy equipment, and, you know, they're cutting with chainsaws and falling trees. So that's why, you know, went ahead and
You've got a.
she called me and I forwarded everything to her, so.
Yeah.
So I think you'd go back to the safety committee and then kind of make a joint effort to make sure it's all covered. And I've got one question on the safety glasses.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
See, I'm
Safety
still
footwear, the way Ray wrote this up, and the draft here implies, or actually says, all secondary roads employees. I would read that and read that to include just what it says, and my question and a suggested change might be secondary roads employees except office personnel. I don't see any reason why those people within the department that work exclusively in the office would need to have safety shoes.
And non-office
I
personnel.
think that those of us that work in the office but need to go out in the field and do things, then yes, wearing the appropriate attire out in the field is a necessity, but those that have no involvement with the other heavy equipment operation within secondary roads would need to do that, which I think would be very consistent with how conservation looks at how their personnel and wearing their safety shoes is that those doing outdoor work or work that would be in a situation where footwear type is necessary, they abide by that. Those doing clerical office work, teaching students, things like that, I don't know that
They can wear any boots.
footwear of a specific safety type would be necessary at that point. And you can, in this draft is written such that works with other county departments, but this one happens to be, says all employees, so I was gonna suggest that modification.
Like, the safety committee Ray wrote this all up, just out of our discussion. Safety committee only meets quarterly. I guess I would say that if we work with Myron and Ray and Shelby, making some changes to this and get some kind of a final ruling to bring back at a future meeting, then we can move from there. So gives me some questions. We want to move forward. Wording is one thing, but as far as amounts, any ideas on how much, if any, that you would authorize contributing to the annual or biannual purchases of safety-toed shoes?
I'm still hung up on the deal that the employee still gotta take some responsibility.
Yes.
You know, I mean, you can have this down in writing that everybody's gotta wear steel toes and.
Well, there's where you need to get rid of the steel toes,
Okay.
safety toe.
Safety toes, okay, safety toes. Secondary roads, put the culvert in, they break a tile, they get wet feet. That night, they take their boots off, at home, and their shoes ain't dry the next morning. Well, I wouldn't wanna put wet boots on myself and wear them all day, so they'll have to have another pair, and they grab, say, you know, regular leather shoes, not tennis shoes, but, you know what I mean? That's why I still, my feelings is, they have an option that they can either just have a pair of safety boots, or like you got, like I always wear, leather soles, leather shoes. You know what I mean? That's my feelings is, you know, if whatever their job description, what they're doing, you know, it's up to them, you know, do they need the safety toes? Then they should have them. But it should be their call which way they want to go. I don't feel comfortable forcing everybody to go with the safety toes. That's just me now.
If we're gonna require a piece of equipment, so, you know, if you're gonna work here and you're gonna have to wear this standard of a shoe, that we should pay for that. But if we're not gonna require it for everybody,
Well, that's the way you guys are gonna, I mean, before I can even go forward with this, you guys are gonna have to decide, you know, are you gonna require the ASTM safety standard or not?
but
You
at
know.
$10,000 a violation, require them to wear those boots is pretty cheap.
And I don't feel you need to pay for 100% of it, and OSHA says you don't have to pay for any of it. So,
I worked 28 years in an industry where I wore steel-toe boots 10 hours a day. And it didn't bother me at all. And I got reimbursed, I think it was, at that time, that was in the 80s, $75 a pair. But that's, you know, a long time ago. But I'm not 100% on board with giving the employees an option. I think it's either gotta be this or.
you gotta meet the standard or you don't worry about it, because if you're not gonna set a standard, then you've got nothing to hold them to.
I'm afraid of what the employee's gonna do, and if an employee does go into a situation and gets hurt, and it's an area where they should be wearing steel toes, and they opted not to that day, then who's?
They've got a choice right now, and they're wearing tennis shoes.
Yeah.
So, there's your problem. I mean, most of the guys wear boots, honestly, most of the guys do. But,
Hey, Tracy, I'm with Ron on this. Where I worked, factory, you walk in the door, safety shoes. Now, whether, like me, electrician, I had to have composite toe, other things were going on. Safety glasses required, you know, and hearing protection, that's what I brought up earlier. All three of those things, the company didn't pay 100%, but they did pay 125 on our shoes, just to give you an idea what they did. And then the hearing protection, they covered 100% because they wanted it done. They went to molded earplugs. And safety glasses, you could get, I think it was 2 pair a year. And if you broke one, it was automatically, you know, you got it, of course, but, so, I know that's a lot of things all at once, but,
Well, I've been in factories and such where you walk in and there's a vending machine, and it's got hearing protection, it's got safety glasses and gloves and everything, and if you want something, you swipe your card and.
yeah, and we pay for all the hearing protection. We're required to pay for hearing protection by OSHA, so we do. We've got muffs and earplugs,
And that's not expensive.
so,
Hearing protection.
but, so, what I'm seeing is kind of anywhere from $110 to $175 a year is kind of what most of them out there are paying. You guys got an idea, you know, or we can throw something together and bring it back for approval, and you guys can either vote yes or no.
I would say 175 max, personally.
Sounds reasonable.
I think that's,
I know what they cost out of Tyson's, and they're
Now, there is gonna be a case where someone is doing a job and their shoes get destroyed by either a chemical or something like that. Then maybe there should be a provision where the department head says, yeah, you.
If they're damaged in the course of, in the line of work,
Yeah, because, there was a chemical spill and it ruined the leather, or whatever the case, your foot's good, but you can't wear those shoes anymore. Then I think, per case basis, there has to be.
we did have one guy that got chemical on his shoes, he couldn't wear them anymore.
But it can't just be because,
Yeah.
really.
How many people are you talking about?
Hmm?
How many people total are you talking about?
40, 50.
So take that times whatever number you are, is that gonna equal one OSHA fine?
No.
There's your answer.
That's simple enough.
That's the easy way to look at it, by far.
Well, I've never heard anybody.
We're not talking
complain.
about a second one that you get at 160,000.
Yeah. Never heard anybody complain about
Plus
steel
getting
toe
sued by the.
saving their toe.
And now they've
Or,
got
safety toe.
well, as Doug described, all the different, I'll call them, they just fall under safety toe with composite and aluminum.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's why they recommend you just say safety toe, not steel toe. Okay, well, we can work on this. I'll work with Myron and Shelby and the county attorney's office, and we'll see if we can get this, some changes made to some wording.
What about maximum on eyeglasses?
That's the next thing, eyeglasses. It used to be in the union contract, when I started here, county paid for secondary roads. When you started, you got 2 pairs of glasses, clear and tinted, prescription. And then you got 1 pair a year, and they had frames picked out, so you couldn't just go in and get whatever you wanted. You had certain ones, and they didn't pay for any coatings, they didn't pay for auto darkening lenses. This is what it is. Now you got a pair every year then after that, and then if you had a prescription change, then they would get you 2 pairs again. I'm at that age where I get a prescription change about every year. And, but since then, things have changed. Guys go in and pick whatever they want. There had been an indication that we had some that were $700. I went back to like the last 4 years. Our highest ones was like $258. And it ranged anywhere from 173 to roughly 250 was the average range. We had some that were a little cheaper, some were down around 100. I don't know what they got, actually. Ray had put in here to reuse the frames. I did that once. Didn't really see a benefit because they charged me more for the lenses since I didn't get the frames with them. So after I seen that, I'm like, well, that was dumb. A lot of times I'll keep my old pair. So if I'm doing something that I know there's a chance they could get scratched, or if I'm painting and I want to paint all over my new ones, I'll grab my old ones and put them on. But, so I'm not seeing that abuse, but I think it would be a good idea to put a max limit on. Deb said yesterday, the vast majority of them are around the 250 area. You know, set your limit at 250. That's just a suggestion. I don't know if there's any other changes you guys want to make in the safety eyewear. I know that it's no longer in the union contract, and so, and then is this going to be all employees? You know, conservation's never paid for prescription safety glasses, so it's going to be something that, you know, obviously else it's going to come out of their budget if you okay it. So, you know, Shelby needs to have some input on that too. I don't know if any other departments really would have the need, other than maybe Rick at the courthouse doing some jobs should have safety glasses. It may affect him if you were to make a countywide policy.
And probably the same thing would apply for the office people.
Right.
There's not a need of them. Yeah, I think this is a piece we should get back to you guys to work out between you, and see what you believe is fair for the reimbursement or cost of, however you want to word it. I don't know what is proper.
I said, up till now, they paid 100%. You know, that was the way the policy was written, but as I said, when it started out, it was limited to the pretty basic, and I don't know at what point along the line that changed. I don't know if there's anything the county did different. It's just the eye doctor started offering different safety lenses. Some of the old ones that the county had picked were no longer available, so they just, this is what we got, and it just progressed from there. So, I mean, we haven't had anybody abuse it yet, but I know they can get expensive. I do have a pair of $700 safety shooting glasses that I paid for myself, so the potential is there for the abuse. So it might be a good idea to cap it and you know, address the policy and you know, conservation would benefit also.
Well, your guys usually run the saws, chainsaws, they always have goggles, don't they?
Yeah, we have to have safety glasses,
Yeah.
shade, and a shield.
Is that required for people in the shop that are welding or grinding, that they wear, even if they're non-glasses wearing individuals, do they have to? Is it listed?
Currently, Benton County does not have a written policy for safety glasses. So, I mean, I issue safety glasses when anybody starts, but we do not have a policy. We don't tell them, you gotta wear these. Should we? I don't know what our,
That's less liable.
yeah, it's, you know,
If you
most of the guys that don't wear glasses ain't wearing, my guys in the shop that don't wear glasses, they'll put them on when they're grinding or doing operations where there's a chance right there. You know, but they probably should have them on from the time they start till the end of the day.
I'm just thinking back to high school. If you were working in the shop.
You went into the shop class, you put your safety
you had to have
glasses on.
Safety glasses on.
And we do supply the non-prescription safety glasses, we supply 100%. I've seen some abuse there. I've started working on a policy that any of our safety equipment, we used to just hand it out like candy. And it's like, well, OSHA says, you have to supply it, but you don't have to give them a pair of safety glasses every week because they lost them or, so you can set a,
42 pair in the pickup.
well, this is what happens. They lose them, they leave them on the dash of the truck, they get scratched. So you can assign a life cycle to your safety equipment, an expected life cycle, and then you need to make them sign for anything you give them anyway, because according to OSHA, if they come in and, well, what have you issued for safety equipment, and you tell them, and you got that in writing? No, then you didn't give them anything. You have to have it in writing. So now, anytime somebody comes in, get a vest, hard hat, safety glasses, they sign for it, it's dated, Deb puts it in a file, we've got a record of what they've gotten, so,
And if we pay for it, we have proof.
yeah. Something happens and they say they didn't have it, I got proof here that you have it, I don't know what you did with it,
If it's,
but,
yeah.
so, some policies we need to work on in safety equipment there.
I think we should send it back to these guys and let them work some of the details out and with their department heads, what they believe the fair cost is.
I would think that the safety glasses, if somebody brings in a pair and says, look at these, and if they're, if they're mauled, throw them away, issue them a new pair, write it down, but if they come and say, I lost them, well, you're gonna pay for those.
Yeah. And that's usually I ask them for the old one back,
Yeah.
you know.
Turn them in. and-
Give me the old one.
Otherwise, you gotta buy them. Because like you say, somebody's using a new pair every day.
Well, I had one guy that used to come in pretty regular.
And he would have been a non-glasses wearing person.
Correct. Mainly it's the sunglasses, the safety sunglasses. They use them when they're driving the trucks and, you know, so they get thrown on the dash and somebody else drives the truck and then they're scratched from sliding around and,
You have to wear glasses, you learn to respect them, I know that.
yes. Okay, any more questions? You got anything, Shelby?
When, I know it's easy to come up with the numbers, like you said, how many people do we have and what's the cost gonna be, but can you provide maybe just a kind of a rough estimate of what the overall cost would be?
I can give you an estimate on what we've done the last several years for boots alone, just for our department.
Yeah, just so we can see some
Yeah.
overall numbers, kind of what it looks like. If you have any history of it.
Okay. Anything else, Myron?
Do we have to show this to, I mean, once we come up with this, do we have to submit it to anyone, or we just have to have it on file, this is what we
Just,
have?
you just have to vote to have the policy and,
We would give it to the employees since it will reference it.
yeah, it'd be in the handbook.
Then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool, thanks.
All right. Thank
No,
you.
I don't have anything else. I mean, it sounds like, and I know the safety committee has mulled over some thoughts that they wanted to incorporate, you know, based on today's discussion, some additional research and discussion amongst that committee to come back with another proposed draft. And yeah, I mean, from a dollar amount, some more entities could be contacted to find out, but I agree with what, kind of what Bruce said and a few others have said, that it seems like the dollar amount is less than what the draft language has as what other entities are offering. Clinton County is the only county I found right now that does do $300 a year for shoes and clothing. The other ones I'm finding 150 and less.
Okay, I had to meet with Troy. We're going over the risk assessments today. Go tour the buildings again.
Okay.
Thanks for putting that all together.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
All right, thank you.
So Ray drafted it.
Ray drafted it. Yeah, Ray drafted it.
Well,
Then I started doing I spent lots of hours yesterday researching boots and, you know, Myron spent some time and I talked to Shelby a couple times and,
What should be, the other thing is like, given that this thing's gonna be tabled until later, should there be, because like, we're going forth with this requiring boot wear and whatnot, should the employees then, hey, you know, should you get the proper boot wear and stuff, keep your receipts and stuff until we figured out what's gonna happen or whatnot to prevent?
well, we'll have to
Those
figure
kind
out
of
a
things.
date, you know. When we implement this, we're gonna have to give them a certain amount of time to
get
get
it, right.
up to,
And
Because I guess the only thing is, I'm thinking for complaints coming in the meeting time, I guess, but
the minimum required is requirement for the standard, so I mean, that's pretty much a no-brainer, isn't it? You gotta have at least this much coverage. If you wanna get higher, then go ahead.
yeah, well, that ASTM standard is that, the current standard, so.
Yeah,
I mean, you can get electrical hazard under that, we're not gonna require that, but, so you can get boots that have,
But they have to be at least as, the safety wise, they have to be at least, that could be the minimum.
That's standard,
Yeah.
yeah, or higher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Higher.
So if we go with the 18 standard, anything, 24 would be the newest, but not everything's been tested to 24 yet. So if you go with the 18 standard, the boot that she's got on right now, the one, part of it meets the 24 standard, part of it's not been tested to the 24 standard. So,
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Doug.
yep.
Had to wear it. When winter, we were insulated. We had rubber steels.
Yep.
I had no idea they had those, but I bought.
Occasionally when it's like frigid, we'll just do our hunting boots. 'Cause,
Yeah,
You know, as long as we're careful.
I had some steel-toed sorrels.
Oh,
They had.
absolutely.
I worked at United, so I was on the ramp. So that cold concrete standing out there for hours, that was,
No, it's,
yeah.
they have,
No.
that's what's the nice thing about composite now too.
You got anything
It's a little
to
less
add,
cold.
Claire?
And they have
No, I don't.
composite mud boots now.
They do.
Yeah.
Man on corner.
It's so nice though, because of that, you know, you can slip
Slowly
on your
progressing.
insulated winter mud boots and their toe protection still.
I gave mine a bad time.
Comfort,
for, you
'cause
know,
some of these
it's
weren't very
came
comfortable.
good,
Right,
so,
yep,
but
absolutely.
They come a long way.
There he is.
Yeah, I definitely.
Maybe you wanted to learn about
when we're out
Marcus
plowing
or-
and stuff, and then when I come inside, I have slippers in the office. Need to
Received a
thaw
note
out
that
a
makes
little
me
bit.
believe the flashing beacons might be in the area, so I'm trying to find that out when they're going to get installed. And maybe the message is pre-received and they haven't been delivered to the DOT shed yet, but the message I had made me believe that was the case, so I was in the middle of an email, and I come running over here to talk to send to the maintenance superintendent at Urbana to find out if they've been received or not. Followed by when they were going to do it on the
If they get those, then what's the timeline looking at as far as re-grooving and so that they will, can that, do we have a, before the weather changes or?
That's the plan. If you give me that broad of an area, if you're gonna ask me a week or two, I'm like, I can't predict a contractor's schedule.
Right,
But
right.
before the weather changes,
Before the
yes.
changes come?
It's-
Okay.
All of the efforts that I'm trying to get done is that it can be done yet this fall, before
That's-
temperatures are beyond
That would be
capable.
awesome. God, I know you want to get this put away. I'm sure, because we ask you about it every week.
But no, I didn't have anything else.
Thanks, Myron.
Yes, Myron?
Haley?
Do you want me to do that now, or you want to
Yeah.
wait till the end?
No?
Okay. I didn't know, because we have a couple other items you gotta act on.
No.
too.
I
Okay.
don't have anything else for acting.
Yeah, you do.
We do.
Yeah, because I amended the agenda. If you look at the 2080 for the sheriff,
No, I ain't got that on here.
well, you printed the first one, I amended it in time, it was like 2 minutes later.
Okay.
It's in your
Back
packet.
2080 agreement?
We did this back in 2020, if you recall, Ron, too. So I'll type up a resolution because we did it by resolution before. But in the prior one, it said the termination notice, you just had to do it within 30 days. We formally terminated the last one. Do you recall? I know, Steve, will formally do something.
How that?
Find it, so. So I'm gonna do this by resolution, but we need, because it needs to be filed with the Secretary of State. So, yeah, just see it in there, just need to say approval and signatures. I'm gonna tweak the resolution because I'm gonna repeal that other one and go back to 2020. So we have that and then we have budget stuff, but I'll get you set up here. Careful if anybody walks over my cord here.
Got it. I will be sure to trip and fall. No,
Well, please, no. I don't want to OSHA
Don't
fine.
tell Troy. See you guys. Bye.
Have a good day.
All right, I just turned it off. All right.
So I can see.
So this, if you recall, with our American Rescue Plan Act funds, ARPA funds, back when they originally had stipulations on how it could be spent, this was one of the approved projects we did. We had ARCA, this company come in and they took all of our old transfer books, all the old supervisor books, minutes. If you've ever been in my office, the basement is full of old records. We never let our books leave the premises of the county. They come here and they were working in the garage behind the sheriff's office. And they brought their cameras and everything, took our books one at a time, scanned every page. And then once they got all those images, they took it back, and it took them a while because they obviously have to put it in a searchable document. The recorder had to redact a lot of the personnel information like birth records, some of that stuff that we can't share for HIPAA. So we are finally to the point where we can share this with the public. So Ben did share a link. So this is our county website, and it's under the Property Records Department. So we have also links to like the Beacon, Iowa Land Records, and then if you see down here, the ARCA website search.
Nice.
So you just click on that. And those of us in the courthouse have a private username and password because we can see some of that stuff that's redacted to the public. But for most general purposes, all they have to do is hit access all Benton County archive. So this is kind of the main area it's gonna pop up. So like for you gentlemen in here, most of the time you're gonna be probably interested in the old supervisor minutes. So you click on this where we're gonna browse documents, and we're gonna go to minutes, and I can do a word search. So is there a certain term word that you want to look for? So say, I know we've done some tax abatements or special assessment. You can just type in a word. It's going to search all those old record books. So as you can see here, then I can click, pop them all up, go back. Sorry, this is bad. And then you can just kind of keep clicking on and going back and forth. And then if you wanted to like save these documents, you can add them to your clipboard. So I would just like add to a clipboard. And then you can go and you can view your clipboard. So like, for example, sometimes I'll have, like Myron and I looked up a certain thing and I think I've sent Derek some of that before with the dog pound, didn't we look at some of that? And then I sent him everything that pertained to any conversations in the supervisor's minutes that pertain to the dog pound, all in one big document, and then I can export it to him. Similar thing with, we can get abstractors that come in, people that do title opinions. So we'll switch it back over to.
So you could type in like the coordinates of the property?
Yep,
and-
yep. So like up here you have to start out. So you can also have like, the recorder also has the indexing and miscellaneous index versus the auditor's office where mine is by grantee, grantor, you know, like section, township, and range, or just the town lots, subdivisions. Because right now, Alexa's office just has the general index search, but she did just message me that now that everything's redacted, they're gonna work on putting more of her documentation out there. So for now, like what we can share is, so say a surveyor comes in, and they wanna look up a certain section, township and range. So we can go the transfer of lands books, and then I wanna do, so these are actually how the books lay out in our office. So here's the years and the ranges. So it goes all the way down. But if you wanna just go, let's see, I just wanna go right here. I wanna go search just specifically to a land section. And then I'm gonna go section it out. So I'm just gonna pick on something. Section 2, Township 85, and then by the range, and hit browse. It's gonna pull up everything from that section, Township and range from the start.
Use that electronic.
So if you look, these are-
I just kicked my butt.
Like I said, these are just images of the physical books that are in our office. The abstractors come in daily, and back during COVID, you know, when we were closed to the public, this would have been amazing, because if we were restricting these people from coming in and it was holding up mortgages and things like that, this is gonna be amazing for those surveyors to come in and be able to look at this stuff, so
How do you update this?
update it as in.
New
Like,
stuff.
so current stuff that we do, like from here on out, everything is scanned into our system now. So every document that goes through the recorder and is indexed before it comes up, it's already a scannable image. So at some point, we'll have to probably archive it or update it into this to make those scannable. So like up to, I don't remember the year we quit on here, 95, don't quote me on that, I'm not sure what year we stopped, but we'll probably have a link from the most recent ones, because you can get it out of our, just like the recording index, anything.
Right.
It's kind of like our,
Because this is the stuff that was all paper before.
Yep.
Had no-
so anything now that's digital, we already have that backup.
Okay.
And this, we own the images. So we're gonna have this for years. So like, if there was some unforeseen event, tornado, fire, water damage to our stuff, we still have this backup. So we've done, like I said, all the supervisor minutes, all the real estate documents. We've talked about doing election records. Right now, all my election books, like all the canvases, all that stuff, we have archived in books. I think originally we talked about doing some of the sheriff's stuff, we chose not to. Some people do like the sanitarian, like the well permits, all that. I mean, some counties went gung ho and did like all kinds of things. But I just wanted to show you, it's just nice, because then I could add this again, you can add this, all those to a clipboard, export it to a PDF, like if a surveyor calls and says, I wanna see all this or that, you can look it up, rather than us going down in the basement, digging through these books manually to try to find these keywords.
It's a huge time saver for you guys.
Yeah, it's been nice. I've been using it for, like I said, supervisor minutes, and Derek and I kind of gave you a quick tutorial one time, but now this is, like I said, it's on our county website, so anybody from the public can go to that and look at it. Because we have people that'll come in during the state fair time and they want to do Century Farm applications. They can come back and go back through, because when they go to the recorder's office, they need to know the date. We don't always have the book and page back that far back, because it used to go to the recorder, to the auditor, then back to get assigned a book and page. Nowadays, it's assigned a book and page from day one. So, but this way, they can come in and they can say, oh, back in 1888, my grandma deeded it to Dad, and they can go down, and then Alexa can go down and pull up that physical copy of that deed, because they need to have proof of all that stuff. So.
Do you think this will cut back on some of the FOIA?
Possibly, because a lot of that, we can actually, hey, if we get those emails, I can copy this link. Here you go, you know, it's time consuming, because it's time consuming, like when abstractors call and they want us to go back, you know, in the transfer books physically and tell them the dates of the deeds when they're not traveling to come do it themselves. But you know they're making money on their appraisals or abstracts, so.
Charging for your
Yes, yeah, so,
We just did that, it was over 2 hours at the courthouse, trying
yes.
to get that figured out.
It's very time consuming and it takes away like,
And I don't
obviously.
think there was copies made, so I think we have to do it again, so now I
Yeah.
know that we can do it.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, we're here to serve the public, but there is days like, especially when there's like 20 voters at my counter waiting to vote and somebody comes in and wants to do
Yeah.
something, I might have to say, you'll have to come back, or now I can direct them and say, here, if you could try to find out some of these things. Or the recorder's office can look up some of the deed dates easier too. But then like the recorders, you can go back. You can look at some Alexa's indexing. Just, we can go down to her miscellaneous indexing. Let's see, browse her books. So here's some of her miscellaneous books that just have just various things too. I mean, some of the stuff is kind of duplicated. It would go to the recorder and then the auditor, but there was different purposes. They would index by alphabetically by last name, like you could go to the index books and you wanted to look up your history, like I want to look up anything that had to do with Ripple. You can just search for the key names and you can get like, it could be birth records, it could be past, you know,
Pull anything that has.
different things, yeah, different.
Did you go, Mr. G?
You might have had an easement recorded down there, because we don't have easements up in my office, that kind of stuff, so, yeah. I just wanted to share with all you guys, because it was a big chunk of money we spent on that, so.
Yeah.
But it's preserving history too, so. We're pretty excited about it, but like I said, you can get to that link both off of the recorder's link off the department, the supervisor's link, and the auditor's link. Anything that has to do with real estate or records, supervisor minute books, they're gonna be able to find that link on the county website. So Ben's got it, let me show you here. Yeah, he's got the different links, so this one's gonna go under the auditor's one, so this is under my department, and then, like I said, it's just kind of the different links. This one goes directly to Beacon. Most people are familiar with Beacon. But then we have the new link at the bottom there, so, yeah. Any questions, or, Myron could use it too, like, sometimes he has to look up just various things, or Ben at the engineer's office. Instead of them traveling to come to the courthouse, they might be able to find it here too.
Nice.
All right, well, I just wanted to give you guys that little quick show. My computer here. There you go. All right. Now back to some of your other items. Your agenda there should show it on number 10. Or you brought your own that you printed from home. But it's in your packet.
I got it.
Okay.
So this is basically updating what we had.
Yes, back in 2020 was the last time we went into an agreement with them. And the verbiage matches the contract in the old resolution, so I'm gonna amend, or I'm gonna put, we're gonna adopt this by a new resolution, so I'll type that up, but I do need you to approve the 2080 today and get it signed, since it's already effective June 2025. But I'm gonna repeal that old ordinance from not ordinance, resolution from 2020,
Okay.
because we're starting fresh with this one.
Okay. Can I get a motion from one of you gentlemen?
I've got one question. County Attorney's Office, do you know if you guys have looked through this 2080?
I know I haven't, but,
I can send that all up to Ray too, but technically if you approve it today, then I'll have the resolution typed up.
yeah.
Or if you wanna wait another week, and I'll type the resolution and that. But I
think
think the resource office is already working on it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like,
It's
yeah.
it matches the one back in 2020 pretty much. But the only thing is the dates and like the amounts. Because when did we quit doing it, Brenda?
24?
We did it for a couple of years, didn't we?
Because it has the reimbursements.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we did quarterly. We would take that wages of that officer, that community, we'll get the invoice and then pay us back. It's still gonna originally come out of the sheriff's budget,
Yeah,
which is reimbursable.
yeah. I don't think,
See what-
no, like, it's not like, I mean, it's all like really internal for the most part. So. And if it's based off of another document that's already been agreed to.
I would make the motion to approve the 28E agreement for the school resource officer between Benton Community School District and Benton County Sheriff.
One second.
Call for a vote
That's by resolution.
by resolution.
Tippit, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Rules aye. It requires just one signature.
Yep.
Right, yep, and then it gets, after it's all good to go, it gets sent to the Secretary of State,
Yep,
and then
it
it's
gets recorded.
officially,
File.
official contract. Yeah.
Because once it's filed with the Secretary of State, you have to go back out and give them a termination date of that old one. So if we terminated the old one, then we have to.
Okay.
Because, and I guess I didn't look when I briefly, because I've seen some things that this usually you put a clause in there that says this supersedes any other previous agreement, which almost.
That's kind of what I do in my resolution. That's when
Yeah.
we
Oh,
repeal the
okay.
old one. Yeah,
Because I've seen that in provisions.
yeah. So number 12 on your packets there, what I ran you was you're familiar with those budget worksheet layout, rather than me doing a detail versus budget. I did it that way, because you can kind of see it as a whole, where they were year-to-date on their fiscal year 26, and what they had budgeted. So you guys can go through and see if you had any concerns. I did build the new fiscals at the very far right, you can see, so we can start that process. Like department heads can start, I can give them the reports and they can start drafting their amounts. I also gave you a timeline example, since you want to start budgeting early, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So I put in there, this is the letter that I typically send to those outside agencies that request funding. So it's just a drafted letter, and then the forms that we ask them to fill out. So I just kind of tweaked it with the dates, unless you guys had something different you wanted to put in, or more specifics. I need to know all that. Or were you happy with how it looked last year? And then we have the form for the boards and commissions, because we generally don't put that ad out until December, because we do those appointments to those boards and commissions the first of the year. It's just something to be thinking about, and you guys have it, so if you were to talk to somebody, you can have a full copy, but this is also available on the website. Because we had a person that was thinking for the landfill commission maybe, so.
We'll talk later.
Non-committal.
Because we do obviously always have some vacancies that happen throughout the year, so we just don't want to forget about them. So then this, did you see my deadline, or my timeline, basically?
Yes.
That's where I need you guys' guidance to, and I think this will be helpful if we have goals and deadlines in place. I do, from the feedback we've heard from the department heads, I know they would rather have you gentlemen give them their advice, you know, because otherwise they're gonna put these dollars in, like especially for wages and that, and then we're gonna go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm not used to the changing and tweaking, but it's hard for us to visualize if we're gonna present it to you and then, you know, keep back and forth, back and forth. So if you give them some guidelines up front on where you wanna hold them to, like hold them to the same or increases, these meetings I feel like would be important if you wanna do some department head meetings. with budgeting goals and stuff, and set some dates?
My idea is we would come up for a, and you know, we don't like this idea, we come up with a bottom line and say, this is what we can afford for your budget this year, you plug it in.
But you also have to be careful on wages that way too.
Yes.
Because that might be somebody taking a 10% increase in their salary and cutting in equipment too, if you give them the bottom dollar. You still have to give them a little more guidance.
But we would know what the maximum is, and then we can
Yeah,
say that we can't exceed this amount, but inside of that, this is where your lies as well.
and for the compensation board, I was hoping to meet with Melinda, because she's the treasurer for them, to have them, she's not the treasurer, she's the clerk to them, to maybe have them meet in November. That way you would at least know the maximum percentage for the elected officials. And I guess you guys ultimately have that right if you're gonna keep
Seems like we've always
retaining the
been-
compensation board, because you guys can dissolve that at any time too, and take back the,
It seems like we've always been late on that.
we've been,
I
well,
thought-
last year we had to decide if we were gonna
Yeah.
keep, reinstate the compensation board, or because of that legislative change. Well, you guys can dissolve it and do it yourselves.
Say if we're gonna keep it, I have no,
These are decisions you guys are gonna have to,
either way, but I think early November, so we know the number we're gonna work with, possibly work with.
Plus with the benefit that we didn't start till January
Yeah,
of this year, so now we can.
that's why I was kinda meeting with you in December to give you some of the stuff ahead of time,
Right.
but.
Right.
But do you like the idea of having a budget workshop with your department heads as like
I do.
one big department head meeting, not just itemizing them out, give them some of your goals, and
Tell them where we're thinking, what our thoughts are.
so everybody hears the same thing? Because they're the ones that ultimately put those numbers in those sheets.
before they put a lot of time and effort in it,
These are the expectations.
yep. That way we're not wasting their time.
And I would appreciate it too. Saves me from going back and forth.
You've already put a lot of work in this, thank you.
Well, it's just showing you, like, because we do have to have that mailing again in March.
Because you've got some things in here that are by law, you've got to have it
Yes,
done by a
yes.
certain date.
So once we send that maximum tax levy notice out, you're done with the levies. You can't change the levies, you can only change the spending. You can reduce it, but you can't go above.
We haven't heard anything from the state that they're doing a big,
No, that didn't pass this year, we're still
Yeah, it didn't
held at
pass
that
this year.
3%, yeah,
so we're stuck with that for a year.
for sure, at least another year. So I'm sure we'll still have, if we have our valuation growth more than 3%, and I'm gonna start the valuation process here, hopefully, as soon as the assessor rolls his file to the auditor's file, then I can, once we get the rollbacks from the state, we won't have the valuations until end of December, so.
We'll start to know those numbers.
Once we know those numbers and what we have to play with. But I still feel like we need to have some conversations before that.
Yes.
Okay.
So thoughts? You want to set up a meeting? I'd get some guidance. For sure you want me to see if we can have a compensation board in November?
Early
Yeah.
November, better, I think.
I have no problem with the council.
Okay? So keeping that status quo.
Yeah, but the only thing is I agree, November.
Yeah. Okay. At least they know the maximum to the department head, or the elected officials anyway, because that affects only the elected. And then you're gonna know your unions, which I haven't heard back on that. Speaking of unions.
Who's, the sheriff's got, what, a few years left?
Yeah, but we had a notice for the secondary road one.
Is it, they all covered into one union, or is it like
Two separate.
Two different unions.
two different unions in secondary roads?
Yeah, theirs is up June 30th,
Six.
something like that.
So they're in the negotiation right now.
Right, they're gonna just be starting that,
Just started, yeah.
because they're 3 years contract. But we have done some MOUs too, so I know the sheriff's working on it.
Do those change much? The MOUs?
I think they were changing some of the positions in pay schedule or something. That's usually what it affects, that kind of stuff. If they create a new position or something,
Well,
it
we
needs
always
to be
had trouble
listed.
with eye care, health insurance.
Yes, years ago, they used to be able to have different
They always had
plans.
something different than what we voted on, and then we have to come up with an MOU after the contract was done.
They can't negotiate insurance and stuff now. They used to be able to. So we used to have like 3 different rates for insurance amounts. Yeah. Okay, so,
Sheriff can negotiate a little more than secondary roads, but not a lot. And under their protected class.
so do you want to, like, say early December, have a budget workshop with the department heads and after the comp board would meet?
It would not hurt to even do it toward the end of November.
Okay,
Once the comp board gets their recommendation out to the
Yep.
public, and us, of course.
because I can get them their budget worksheets now. I like to do it in December because it's kind of a halfway point too. So it'll show those year-to-date totals as a halfway point, whereas you're looking at it quarterly right now. But I could do it now too, quarterly to them, so they kind of know. Okay. All right, well, you don't have to set the date for the comp board. The
No.
comp board does that, but,
Yeah.
but goals will set a date for the department head meetings and.
Okay. All right, you start.
We go.
Reports.
I had a meeting, I Zoomed it last Thursday, and all it was the finance, the ECI WDB, and we just went over and approved a few invoices. So that was nothing. I do have a wellness board meeting tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, I have a medical procedure at 8:45, and I'm done for the day, so I will not be able to attend that wellness meeting.
Which one's that?
Wellness committee. The department heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could go sit in on, I
Would
don't
you
know
mind?
what's going on, but.
When
I
is
could go
that
sit
gonna be?
in.
Tomorrow morning at 10.
I don't know that anybody's been notified.
Oh, I
Hopefully they did, because remember we put all those people on it and I didn't know.
Yeah, that's what I have written down in here. If that, I'll find out if it's
Okay.
different, I'll let you know.
Because,
I-
you know,
I
each
can go
department
sit in
named
on
their
it for
person
you.
to go to it, so.
Yeah, that would be nice to have somebody represent.
I can do that.
Yeah, yeah, I had it down for October 1st. Maybe that's, I'll send an email and find out for sure.
Yeah, because I could give them the list with it. I mean, we, unless they made the group chat, I don't know if we should do that.
Yeah, because I know they wanted to get something going because of the deadline coming up here in October.
Yeah, and I just did another payroll stuffer last week to remind them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what more we can do, because now it's up to them to get it done and sent in, so.
I'll find out.
Let's see, last week I had, I believe it was the Benton, Iowa DCAT. Talked about their programs and everything is going per schedule, no surprises there. Then we had, the HACAP meeting, that was Thursday evening. They went over all their programs, their numbers for Head Start and early Head Start and everything. Everything's panning out there. And it sounds like I talk about it a lot, but we get a good return on the money with HACAP. The total budget is like $57 million, and we don't, we put in a very small amount. Everything's coming in line well with them. They have possession of the property that was, it'll be to house a family at some point. They're gonna do a little painting and sprucing up. It's given to them in Dubuque. Apparently it has very good curb appeal and it has a value of $275,000 when it's given to them. So, the head lady is retiring in November, or no, December. So they're working on that. They're gonna do some interviews and stuff this week and get things set up there. And then Friday was the Central Iowa Juvenile Detention. After we approved everything, and now we're waiting for this new 28E agreement to be written that we'll have to approve. And then because of this lawsuit and everything that went on, and then it involves a bunch of counties, then once we approve that, then we'll go back to the board, be voted back in as a member county. Right now, we're listed as a former member county. Today at 1 o'clock, there is a Zoom meeting. One of the things they did is that we met in closed session, but as a former member county, I could not take part in the closed session. At the end of the closed session, they terminated the CEO.
So Tony is no longer
So
there.
Tony is no longer there. I can't tell you what went on because it was closed session and I don't know.
Well, I've been receiving emails too. So this morning, I just got invoices from the new gal that must be filling in for him. We had invoices from April of '24 for the one individual that they're trying to.
The amount they had listed was like $181,000. I've got it in my truck.
Yeah. But those are some of those invoices that we questioned to begin with and never got answers, so I sent them to Ray today because, for one, it's like a prior fiscal year, and, so. Yeah, yeah, so I don't like getting those kind of invoices that are that old.
Yeah, they had a huge number behind those.
Well, and some of them, yeah. So if you see some juvenile ones coming through on the claims, you're gonna know why.
Yeah, big ones, totals. So today they're talking about advertising for a new CEO, CFO to replace Tony. He had been there, he was part of the group that constructed it and built it. He'd been there like 28 years. Don't know what I don't know, because I wasn't part of it.
I think they fired another board member too, from another county.
Hired or fired?
Well, let them off the board,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
I'll find all that out at 1 o'clock today.
Yeah, maybe bring that up about, we're not very happy with getting these old invoices that are
Yes.
prior fiscal years, because we never had our questions answered to begin with on those, so. Let's see where you get with that. Work your magic, get them waived.
I'm gonna guess they're gonna say, oh, we have no idea what you're talking about.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, because you threaten not to pay them like we've talked about before, and then you get
And then I get
a
that.
message of like documents that look like they were just thrown together.
And that's what these kind of were. The dates of service were overlapping and I didn't like the looks of them to begin with.
It is.
It's a mess.
And that brings me up to today.
Okay. See, last week, me and Haley went down to Belle Plaine.
Get there in time?
Yep, we sure did.
I was right behind
You guys were pushing the
He led the
envelope.
pace.
And that was over,
The
like.
TIF for the
yeah,
Frontier.
TIF for Frontier.
Oh, for
The
the building.
new building, yeah. And that was gonna be,
I didn't bring my, oh, I have the map in here.
I got it, here we go. They get 5 years, they get 100% back. And then 15 years, they get 75% back.
Okay.
But that's on the new building, that's not counting, we'll still get the, Belle Plaine will still get the property tax off the original building.
Okay, so it's just the building that's.
Just the new building,
Okay.
Yep.
so it's a 20-year TIF.
So the original area was in a TIF prior, so they had to repeal that one, and then they're starting a new fresh amendment to their original urban renewal area. so.
How big of a addition are they putting on? That was a good sized building to start with.
900,000.
I think that was, and then they were like talking about like, future plans to keep adding on to it in the future too, like daycare and things, which I didn't realize Belle Plaine Schools is only going 4 days a week.
Yes.
We learned that too, so,
They do?
yeah.
410,
410s.
Belle Plaine. Yep.
Because they had the superintendent there too.
Wow, that's gonna be tough on both parents working.
Friday's their day off, but yet, when do they play sports? Friday night.
Friday night, right?
So it's hard to have you're sick on Friday at school,
Yeah,
you can't play sports that night, so.
you don't go to school.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about busing, transportation, you still have to bus the sports children.
Oh, a lot of schools back in Montana have adopted like a 4-day
Really?
school week, like when I was teaching, like that school,
The-
did a 4-day school week.
Part of their research or claim is that the young teachers coming out looking for a place to work, the shorter work week is a big attraction to them.
I wanted to go to school. If I was home, Dad had me working.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in
Yeah.
class
I know
than
it's
pulling
just,
weeds out of the ditch. Jeez.
I know like, and I don't know what it's like here, but it's always like by the hours. And so,
That's what I think, Benton Community's hours now.
yeah, because we
Yeah.
had longer school days. We still had 5 days, but we got out like almost a month earlier.
Just wondered how that worked
See,
for
was it
daycare
every other
problems.
Wednesday, they get out early,
One, yeah. Yeah, every other, no, every Wednesday.
every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday,
Much.
Ben gets out early.
Vinton is Fridays.
Every
I think
Friday.
Urbana does something
Oh,
similar too.
nice.
But the teachers
Independence
have to
is
stay
every
there.
Friday.
They don't
Because
get
that's their
every Friday.
in-service.
Yeah.
That's how they get their hours of in-service, isn't it, or something?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
state requires so
When
many
you
hours.
started teaching, was it, I just remember the teachers having an in-service deal like once a month? It wasn't a weekly thing.
No, but it was full days.
Yes.
So it's the same difference. If you have once a month, it's 8 hours, or if you have a 2-hour early out once a week, it's 8 hours.
It's the same amount.
It's the same amount of time, it's just how you do it.
Okay, then on, I can't remember last week, or was Wednesday, I believe it was. I missed that meeting, they had a new medical director.
I saw that we were invited.
That's
Yes.
area Hamlin, or not area Hamlin's. Hamlin's here in town here. You could come and meet him. So you could actually sign up for this individual, and he would be your director of your, watch over what kind of equipment you got and everything, on your first responders. It's, each entity's up to them to have a medical director oversee their programs. So, I didn't make it, I don't know, did you happen to go to that either?
No, I didn't, no. I didn't.
I did run
didn't make
into
it. It
Blairstown.
was just, huh?
I happened to see Blairstown's new vehicle.
Wait.
He was over at the sheriff's office, the new Tahoe that's equipped for,
Okay,
Okay.
it's basically equipped with everything an ambulance has, so like if they show up to a scene first, they can do all the stuff, they just can't transport the patient, but they can get them stable until the transport gets there.
Okay.
It's a pretty nice rate.
Okay.
Okay, well, like I said, I missed it last week, that was my fault. Thursday, I had Eastern Iowa Trust Fund. I got information on here on houses. And also, we have a lot of old houses in Benton County. Our
The lead, is that the lead one?
and then how much unemployment we have. I mean, it was, hopefully it's good, accurate information.
Did she give you like a statistic sheet? Those are kind of.
Yes. So anyway, you guys wanna take it home and look at it, read it, you're welcome. Then, this was all down to Hills, Iowa, South Iowa City, when we had this meeting. We do it once a year, we meet in a different county. So we met down in Johnson County down there, in the Hills. Then we had Easy Cog after that. The biggest thing on that is, of course, Karen, that comes out here, does this every year. She is going to retire. So now it's in the process of looking for somebody to fill her shoes. So it's just in the starting project of putting feelers out, see what's out there.
Because Alyssa replaced, oh, I can't think of her name. She's the one that helps us with the grant stuff.
Alicia?
'Cause she's fairly new too.
Yeah, well, she's been there a while, but she got moved up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then last night, I also attended the EMA at the sheriff's office. Biggest thing with them, I guess they were talking about, is the startup of Doing Arnold. They're already starting to do paperwork and planning and everything for the startup of that. But it's not 100% yet that they're gonna start up. So they come up with, I believe it was Lynn County come up with this idea, and I thought it was kind of smart, a 28E agreement, and we voted on it and passed it. And for Benton County, that it's gonna go back to, the name of the company that's starting this up from Florida. Next
Arnold or
yeah,
something.
next era, yeah. It's between Benton County, every county around here that's in this 50-mile range where Dwayne Arnold is gonna sign this 28E. The object is, like Dean's already starting to map, lay things out. If they do not fire it back up, Dean will get reimbursed for his time of setting these maps up. I think that's a smart idea. They spent a lot of money yet, and they ain't even got a shovel in the ground yet out there. But, you know, they already got the permit to be licensed as a nuclear plant. So it just, and they're shooting for, which I think is a dream, fall of '28 of, they'll be making electricity out there.
You got a lot of stuff to replace that they got rid of.
Like the sirens.
Yeah, I don't know if they don't want that one back, it's in Norway right now.
Well, that
I'm sure
was
they have updated one.
led to another discussion last night. I guess according to, the regulatory, what do we call it?
NRC.
Yeah. They don't need sirens no more, because everybody has a phone.
They'll
So,
just do it over that.
instead of the siren going off first Wednesday of the month, your phone is gonna go off when the thing's up and running. So no more sirens.
Because and they also had a system, emergency broadcast, TV, radio. They'll just tie it in with the phones. Makes good sense.
So I was kinda shocked at that, no more
Yeah.
sirens.
Because I know like the Amber Alerts, I know I have had one around here, but Vail
in the middle of the night, if there's one out, it'll go
Yes.
directly to the phone and wake you out of a dead sleep. I'll tell you that.
I don't know, I get weather alerts that way. It sit you up, it's like, what's going on?
So my phone lives in the kitchen at night.
And I guess that's about it. The only other thing I could comment on a little bit, we had our sheriffs had their jail inspection September 24th.
You were supposed to have a meeting and they canceled it. You were supposed to have a meeting and they canceled it. They
We're
had-
starting, I mean, it's still kind of like we're getting our bearings on how we submit to the DAP and get reimbursed, and it's just working out all the kinks because there wasn't very good communication, so I will be cutting them a check for, I think it's like 30-some thousand out of our mental health fund back to the region. So,
I guess that's all I got.
I did hear back from Cedar Valley Ranch, we're go.
And,
October 15th at 9:30.
October 15th?
Yep, he emailed me back and confirmed it, so. So I'll post it.
Wednesday.
Yep, I'll post that separate agenda for that one.
Okay.
Cedar Valley Ranch, 9:30?
Yep. And Ray and I are sitting in Ron, this week, we start some interviews Friday,
Yes.
or Thursday and Friday for the sanitarian health
Doing
department.
one
Oh,
Zoom.
we've got something, huh?
No, he's coming in person Friday morning,
Oh,
so, yeah.
Doug, you got something?
Yeah, I got a couple, just a quick ones. Dog ordinance, where are we standing on that?
We're gonna have to probably redo the whole, like, process with it, cause it's just been kinda set in stone. As far as like that goes, I can touch base with Ray, cause I haven't personally touched it a whole lot with the ordinance, as far as like, editing and whatnot, but as far as like the process goes, we're gonna probably have to restart it, because and maybe we'll just have to pick some gaps in between each reading and stuff, so it gives us some time to make the changes that's needed, and so then hopefully we can get the process renewed. But I'll touch base with Ray and see what, do with that, so we can maybe get something set up as soon as we can, maybe to get the cycle back set up so we can get it.
was there a change in the state law or something like that?
To my knowledge, because like it would have had to been in July, if there was something done immediately, I'm not aware of. But I can look.
I had a phone call from somebody that told me that the state had, and the last I knew it did not pass, it was something with the breed bans.
The breed bands, okay. Yeah, I can look.
So we need to look at that.
Yeah, but to answer that question, we're gonna have to get restarted on it, and I know he's made edits. We just, I think we just kinda got lost track of it, which happens.
Somebody was off for a month.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that.
That wasn't his project.
That was a perfect
It
excuse.
was a good reason.
That was a very good reason.
Oh, yeah, but that wasn't dumped on.
Yeah.
Only other thing I had was,
Oh my, you know more
did you
than
talk
I do.
about the seal bids for those the two plots for the Conservation Commission? Or is that all done? That hasn't been done?
Started yet.
That's
Haven't even started yet?
No.
October 14th.
October 14th?
Yep, the
Okay.
notices should be in the newspapers this week,
Oh, okay.
at 12:30 and 12:45.
Great.
I don't know where Marshall. Just saying, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Hey, Bruce, if you would bid on the one with, oh, how about the golf course?
Yeah,
You could probably sell all the golf balls and make some of your money back.
you're probably right. I could probably retire.
So if I was playing golf,
Kinda tells you what your golf game's like, when that's what you get for Christmas every year, is golf balls. know you're gonna need these.
They gotta make money too, you know?
Yeah, true. They make new ones every day.
That's all I got. That's all the questions I got.
shall we?
Can I take a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Yeah.
Not on record.
Okay, golf for a vote on the adjournment.
But I.
Seaman, aye.